What's up, YouTube? How's it going? So coming on down here, we have the Nasdaq is down nearly 300 points from yesterday's highs. AVGO is down almost 7%, getting destroyed. RTY is performing, and here comes Nasdaq. Every red seemingly gets in, yeah, but also every green is getting engulfed red. So you have to look at both sides of it. That's why it pays to look out. That's why got to keep a close eye on things. And who wins when there's engulfings after a 8 or 9 month incredible trend that just seemingly won't sell off? You know, there is such thing as an overbought level. So that's what you have to look at. If we were at the lows, I would certainly be looking to just start front running call positions. But we're at the highs. And when every single green gets engulfed, you have to consider the possibility, as preposterous as that may seem, is that we may be overbought. Maybe. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Small bottom wick at the moment. Still pressing lower at the moment. On down. Bottom wicking hard right here. And going. Bottom wicking hard right there, baby. Wait, market go down. Yeah. Beautiful stuff. Huge bottom wick right there already, 575. They're defending the overnight low. And once again, that is a beautiful long opportunity right there. We have put buying, call selling at the moment. We have 25,573. Gold is putting on a showcase the past 2 days of 3Cs. I pinpointed yesterday the beautiful 3C short. I pinpointed again this morning. In the midst of some incredible buying, of course. So it just shows you the power of the volume. I cannot stress the volume enough. What's up, YouTube? How you doing, baby? Even Spot Gamma says that there's really not much to decide here. They give a bullish thesis. They give a bearish thesis. SPX 6910 in blasting or 6800 or down is going to trigger the volatility. So if we do recover today and the S&P can wipe out 6900 and hold, then most likely we will have an upward tailwind into the next event, which was, I think, it's Tuesday. Don't hold me on that. Sometime next week until the next event. And that very well could happen. Tailwind event to reset volatility into that. So that's why I'm saying, like, we can opine on what's going on here, but nothing's actionable until we get a lower low or a higher high. 3Cs, baby. Remain analytical. Remain analytical. Call selling, put buying so far. So far, we had a beautiful little bounce here. 530 up to 580, about a 53-point bounce on NASDAQ after a pretty overextended evening. Not incredibly over. No, I won't use that word overextended. Nice little top wick. Nice little top wick. Side to side. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm ready to go on vacation next week, baby. Ready to go skiing. I'm pumped. Pumped. We have no data today. We do have a one-star event of a FOMC speaker, but probably won't say anything crazy. So we're literally dealing with zero catalyst today. Nothing. It's all price action, baby. Another bottom wick on NASDAQ. Extraordinary. You just shave. Oh my gosh. Beautiful bottom wick. Gold still selling after multiple high volume top wicks into the 4380s. CL is 5752. They've been churning and burning. 580. So for all my tech people who are very who've been helping me out with my computer, I haven't had a single blue screen since last week because I haven't been able to stream Bookmap this week for software issues. So given the fact that it seems Bookmap is causing, or at least high usage is causing the blue screen of death, what would you consider the problem to be? Is it hardware or software? Is it the RAM? You think so? So I need to increase RAM, or do I need to change RAM? What do you think? I will do so. I'll buy it freaking today if I need to increase. What RAM am I using? I do not know. I have 64. I have 64 RAMs in the box, but I don't know the brand or anything. It's not the graphics card. I have a pretty robust graphics card. Just get a brand new set of gigs. Huh. All right, Nasdaq is climbing up 576. $362 million puts, 193 million calls sold. They're increasing the put purchases here. On this little bit of bounce. Extraordinary, baby. Extraordinary. We have a little bit of a move here up to 580, 590. We have 400 million of puts purchased, 150 million of calls sold on this little bounce. Bulls are defending nicely. We're about half the recovery and still going. Excellent. Nice little bottom wicks. Back and forth. Already took out high of the day. Now they're going up 600 and reclaiming high prices. ES is top ticking. Gold is bouncing. Everything's going. Nice. Just going. $325 million puts purchased and going. Nice green move, 604 going to 610. We have a couple of pivots. The buyer's got to hold. If we can hold, we'll go up to 630 or so, which will be the pre-market little pivot right here. And it's still going nicely. Still going nicely. Oh, geez, almost knocked my coffee over. Here we go, still straight up, 606. So far, we're about an 80-point bounce. It's going nicely so far. Well, the boost card, you have a message at the bottom. Yeah, every time it's the watchdog violation. Yeah, every time I've gotten it, it's always been the same thing. At the bottom wick right here on NASDAQ. What motherboard I have? Couldn't tell you. I'll have to figure it out. 25,600. Still going. I was here to survive the coffee spill. All right, taking a look at the VIX. The VIX right here is 1492, holding lows. Another bottom wick on NASDAQ to go higher. Just skyrocketing so far. Beautiful stuff. Bottom wick. There we go. 620. Going up to about 632, which will be the next top tick. Puts are being sold. Calls are being purchased. Briefly. Same old thing every day, baby. Same old thing every day. Yeah, I'll do it after the stream. I'm just gonna I'll write all that stuff down. I'll do it after the stream so we can. I just want to focus on this, and then yeah, we'll definitely do that. Appreciate you. Let's go to gold. Gold's up. Still going. My fear is that today's going to be a big dud simply because there's no catalyst here. We're just going to kind of placehold for next week. I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, yeah. Five-minute. Ooh, NASDAQ big red. Look at that. Big rollover. Right there. 586 or so. Let's see if they catch people off guard with that one. Let's see if they catch people off guard with that one. Ooh, a tremendous amount of puts just dumped from 200 to 600 million. Look at that. Interesting. Look at that put flow and call. So that was a big options order right there that just hit. Big options order. NASDAQ daily doesn't look like February 25. It looks like December. I mean, it looked very similar to December. If you look, right, like I said right before, is that in December of 24, about the third week is when the dump started. The dump began, and then of course we had a little recovery. And then February is when, or January into February is when things really started to sell off. And the only reason I wanted to point that out is not because I really believe that every month does the same exact thing. It's the fact that with everyone pretty much betting on the fact that we're going to have a Santa rally, like obviously it's not guaranteed. NASDAQ, we got crushed in December last year. And even this year, we have a setup where every single seasonality this year has been countered. So why are we gambling on a seasonality when, number one, it didn't happen last year, number two, every single seasonality in 2025 has been countered. So, you know, all I'm saying is let's keep an open mind with and watch the price action and the Wyckoff cycle. All right, we have 639 million puts purchased, 635 calls sold. That was an aggressive bounce or a sell-off. They bounced it and now hold it back over on the 5-minute, just whips on back and forth. Obviously, I don't want to go chasing the first red candle out of a move like that, especially such quickly moved. That's usually where they try to counter people and swipe some liquidity, and you end up shorting the exact bottom. That's never fun. So, yeah, last year they did not print. It was a down month in December. No good. VIX is 1497. Gold's coming back up nicely. VIX is holding 1497. NASDAQ and ES are both just chilling. Chilling. Coming down. That's 3 attempts to bounce it on the 1, 2 attempts on the 5. They're still piling into puts here. Aggressive puts. Let's see if we can get a move into the lows right here. We have 800 million in calls sold, 700 million puts purchased, and they're still riding this baby down. ES is engulfing the entire range. NASDAQ is about down to lows. But so far, the options aren't looking all that great. Yeah, like I said, It's very possible that they could just pin us down here somewhere or just back and forth, little pop, little drop, because we have no catalyst today. We have a lot going on next week, and we've done a lot the past 2 days. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here when they come down and retest the lows at 530. Large red, 544. What do you tell yourself not to have FOMO and get anxious and jump into trades? Walk us through what made you break through. Trusting myself. There's always a trade. And for me, I go ahead and start every single session, not to mention that's the type of trader that I am, is every single thing, every day I approach that I only want one trade. Like, I don't care about trading 30 times, 10 times. I'm here to put on 1 or 2 trades a day at the most, and that's it. I don't care about everything else. So with that said, is that I have to pick my entries very carefully. I don't want to go in and try to just scalp a 3-point move and waste one of my trades. So I'm going to be very analytical. And like, as long as I'm making my system and executing and I'm showing returns, I could care less about missing out on a move or wanting more and all that stuff. So not to, I still fight it, obviously. I'm still human, but those are the processes I put in place. So if you can even end the day green by 50 cents, you're beating the statistics. Why fight it? Statistics. 800 million puts purchased, 923 million calls sold. Top wick. If this fails, I think we'll come down and touch and we'll start getting into yesterday's lows, but yeah. You do have to focus on managing yourself. This is not something you can. I mean, everything with trading has to be intentional. There's nothing you can do that's just willy-nilly, and that includes your emotional management. You've got to be intentional with telling yourself and talking to yourself what you're going to do and controlling yourself. Another top wick there that should get us down to 529, 537, 538 top wick. Coming back over. $534 will get us a low there at 529, and then we'll go from there. Do we have a volume spike? We did have a volume spike on that big dump, and then trickling over. We don't have an additional volume spike. Volume has kind of uptick collectively, but we don't have another singular volume spike here. So, yeah, 529, 530 NASDAQ. They're just buying a bunch of puts and selling calls. This is very, very bearish 0DT options. Very. VIX ain't moving at all. AVGO is down almost 10%. It's getting wrecked. Getting wrecked. There we go. Breach of the new low. 517. Rolling over. Bottom wick. So already I'm going to put in my first SR flip. This is not the morning. I mean, it's not the morning low, but it's the prior pivot. SR flip. We just bottom wick, tested off of it quickly. Rolling over. Obviously, things are bearish. The option chain is ridiculously bearish at the moment. We have 973 million calls sold, 1 billion puts purchased. Very bearish. 512 dropping. We're looking for 456 at the moment. Coming on down. Crazy stuff, kids. Crazy stuff. There's some volume coming in there. There's some volume coming in there. It's likely to pair a profile. There you go. High volume bottom wick. 523, bouncing back up. That's a 23-point bounce on the 5. For a 5-minute higher high, I mean, the higher high typically, I mean, that's a long way up, 40 points. In this range, that's a long way to wait for the 5, so we're still early, obviously. But we are within my trading time frame. High volume bottom wick, retesting the prior pivot. If we take that prior pivot, you might be able to get a momentum play here, but be careful longing under this pivot. Right there. ES dropping. NASDAQ is retesting lows. Retesting that little bottom wick. There we go. We have 845 million calls. And we're holding the 516. A little bit of a bounce so far. If we can reclaim the 528, you can play the bounce. But I would be very delicate this early in the day with this kind of momentum, longing under this pivot. I would at least wait for the 528, 529 right here. At least right there. See if you can reclaim that target. I don't think AVGO earnings and involvement guidance were bad. They announced a nice dividend, just liquid. Well, they're getting wrecked now, man. I don't know. Gold's putting on a move. NASDAQ is 514. Can't reclaim the high. Obviously, we're walking through that pivot. If we can get over that 528, you might have a bounce. Other than that, we're going to still induce some liquidity here. So VIX is up. They're still buying the puts. I don't know. Maybe they're anticipating a little bit of shakeout, but there you go. There's your high. 3C short on gold. No, I don't see any short activity here. We had a very small volume spike at 8951, but there's no 5-minute top wick or lower close, or even lower movement for that matter. Nice bounce off of 25.5. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. There it is. There it is. There it is. RTY is dropping, getting wrecked after overperforming for quite a while. Nice bounce off 25.5. Yeah, buddy. The daily chart looks a little different between NASDAQ and ES. NASDAQ looks ready to break down. ES is just kind of tinkering up to new highs here. So there's a huge discrepancy between the chart on ES and NASDAQ. So make sure you're doing your due diligence and looking at both of them. And what is that telling you here? If you look at NASDAQ and wondering why they look that differently, is that you can find your answer in RTY. This is RTY. There's rotation here out of the, it's hard to even say, the past 4 years overperforming tech. Most of the tech names have been getting smoked in 2025. There's been a few outliers like Google, Apple, and that's the reason we're having a little bit of a rotation. NASDAQ confirmed the higher high and is putting on a nice little trend, continuing. Up we go. 563 after taking out our little pivot of 529. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. What's up, Wesley? How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Looking forward to the weekend, man. Looking forward to the weekend. It's been a great week. Great week. Now the bottom wick, 560. After the 3C confirmation, do you wait for a tracement or down or just front run? I mean, there's no front running. There's no front running after you get a confirmation. Once I get the confirmation I need, I'm in. Do I have CWD up by you? In the western part of the state, we do, but it's not very rampant. I think it's a very low rate of positive test results. So it's not something we really worry about. I mean, I process all my own deer and I don't test for it. Ooh, 11 degrees on Sunday. What is that crap? And then 60 degrees next week. Jeez. CWDs for wussies. Yeah, it is. Happy Friday, Wesley. I had a conversation with my financial guy yesterday. Man, it gets me super excited talking about that. He knows how much I hate taxes, so he calls me anytime he comes up with he has something else on his plate. He calls it legal tax laundering, or money laundering. I'm like, let's do it, baby. Let's do it. So I'm going to pass those tidbits on to my tier 2 people. Everything I learn, I'm going to give to y'all. I'm telling you, man, forget about CPAs. CPAs are worthless. Find yourself a good quality financial advisor who hates taxes as much as you do. Be American. Stop paying taxes. Oh, man. Let's see. Put, selling, call, buying. You think that's fun? Try doing it legally. No, man, they're ruthless. That's how they got Capone. Tax evasion is their #1 crime in their book. Yeah, AVGO's getting wrecked. Getting wrecked. All right. All right. 880 million puts purchased, 900 million calls sold. We are smack dab in the middle of the range after a little drop, a little pop, and there we go. We're down about 0.6% on NASDAQ. AVGO gets wrecked. NVIDIA is still getting wrecked. We're just chilling. It's so bad here tax-wise, and my guy found me 3 loopholes already, including my property, to bring down my overall tax returns. Yeah, buddy. $1.05 billion calls sold. They're still selling calls. 952 million puts. I was afraid this is going to happen today. Just very slow back and forth. The options are super bearish. The options are super bearish. We're going to see what NASDAQ can do here. Gold is putting on a beautiful, beautiful top wick on there. We're going to see if we can get something going. We have ES coming off nicely. We have VIX going up. We have call, selling, put buying to a very large degree right here. There goes gold on down. There goes NASDAQ chilling. ES is coming off. Not really much here. You know, there's not much. So I would there's not much. We have a 3C formation on gold coming up. You see these big sweeps? 3C formation, high volume spike at 43.88. Sweeping rejection off of that. We have a lower low. It hasn't closed yet, but it's heading that way. But that is a sweeping rejection on gold so far. NASDAQ moved back lower. 10 o'clock turnaround would be nice. Boom, right when you say that, yeah. There's our 10 o'clock shakeout candle. Tremendously bearish on the options. Tremendously bearish on the options. Large red sweeping candle on NASDAQ. Wow. Tremendously bearish on the options. Tremendously bearish on the options. NASDAQ is trying to take this lower price. ES is trying to take the lower price at the moment. Too much chop? Yeah. First, we got to get 501. That's the lower low. And then, of course, after that, we'll play. But the options are very bearish. The NASDAQ had an engulfing red. ES is putting on a big red. But again, it's back and forth. Very much back and forth. Second day in a row, I accidentally went over the TPT fit. That's a good problem to have. Options noob do. You just got to get it back and forth. $1.5 billion puts purchased. 1.5 billion calls sold. We're just kind of hanging out down here. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a bounce. Let's see if we can fade it first. Hourly and 2-hour charts. Well, those charts are, you know, they're back in. The NASDAQ looks worse than the S&P. Another topic on NASDAQ. What can they do? We have to extend under the day's lows. So if you go to the 60, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 top wicks on NASDAQ. Heading lower. ES is holding up a bit more, but it's in the process. Of course, NASDAQ is on this little downtrend since yesterday afternoon, and if it takes out this low, we're going to come all the way back down to this yellow block liquidity. So everything still looks like distribution. I've been telling y'all this looks like distribution now for many, many weeks. It just takes patience to play out the distribution process. So here we come on down. There goes NASDAQ on down, 502, beautiful stuff. Incredibly bearish options flow. Incredibly bearish options flow. There we go. Now that we take this out, we're going to play down into 385. I don't know if we'll get that much. That's a big ask on a day like today. It's 130 points. But there's not really much else left. We're carving out the expansion range, and you have to look at the change of character too. The market is putting in this expanded price action. Yeah, 50% rejection range. Right here at 560. We'll see if this can fail it. We'll see if this can fail it. There we go, 499. There we go. Now we're getting some breathing room. 496 on down. We took out that prior low. If we hold this, we'll have an engulfing red. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. They have a little support at 450 or so, 450, 460. Watch for the volume spikes. Keep your eyes here. Watch for the volume spikes. If you see a volume spike, think analytically. Think analytically. We're coming off nicely. Coming off nicely over here. You have to ask yourself, how's your mother? Let's go. There we go. What I tell you, what I tell you, what I tell you. Here we go. Once you take out the support, we just start coming on down, baby. Every day. 3 C's. We're watching volume. 481. Coming off. It's nice. It's nice. $2 billion in calls sold, $1.9 billion puts purchased. Phenomenally bearish. Phenomenally bearish on the options. How's YouTube going? Y'all are quiet. Y'all are quiet. What's up? Y'all are quieter than a angry wife. Unless you're Italian, then she gets really loud. $25,493. Internet keeps cutting out. You better not be pooping on this Discord, J-Dog. I try not to think about the personal aspects of y'all's lives while you're listening to my voice. It's no good. Greek wives are loud too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm driving while listening, waiting for a bounce off VWAP. Nice, Sir Andre. That was some of the highest volume spike right there. Not incredibly high, but some of the highest. And we have a little bounce back up. That's why I said watch the volume. Watch the volume. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Still coming off, 468. No higher high. I'm going to delete that because we no longer need it. But we are coming off, baby. This is extraordinary. Extraordinary. I've been doing this all week, man, just watching the volume. Watching the volume. Taking the guesswork out of it. As much as I can, at least. As much as I can. There we go. 461, and we're coming off. $2 billion of puts, 1.8 billion calls sold, and we're dropping. Where's silver go nearer to long term? Honestly, I have no idea, man. Go look at the monthly chart on silver. I mean, it's absurd. So obviously, there's some outlier moves occurring on gold and silver. Obviously, there's a reason why that's happening. It's never happened before to this extent. So why is that happening? It's because the market is not looking all that great. When everything is inflated, what do you turn to? There we go. 450 and dropping. VIX is up. Puts are increasing. Calls are being sold. And the market is dropping. Distribution. However, I'll bet you a Buffalo nickel they bounced this and put on a significant rally into the afternoon. Who wants to bet me? It's Friday. It's Friday. It may be late afternoon, but right now we are having a lot of fun, baby. 436. So you have to be very aware of the wicks. Be very aware of our location. Market's dropping. We have 390 liquidity. Getting wrecked all the way down. Beautiful stuff. 429. 2.2 billion puts purchased. 2 billion calls sold. NASDAQ is 438. They just took out everything else. The last remaining defense is 390. Another top wick. Another top wick. Still extending. 419, 415 and dropping. Extended sell-off. It's incredible, dude. It's absolutely incredible. 390, 400 right in this block right here is the whole baseline. And even then, there's a reason why that block is yellow. That is not by random. That is because the liquidity has been, for the most part, wiped. There's a very small draw in liquidity at 386, 390. Those 50% plays, man, they're just money. They are money. They are money. They are ants, Michael. They are ants. Big green candle. Feels good when you're right, doesn't it? Dropping, baby. A little bit of green coming in right there. Stupid rhythmic. Frickin' rhythmic. Don't use the Quan Tower copy trader. Do not use the stupid Quan Tower copy trader. No, it's good. I've got my trailing stop set on my short for a bounce, and I've got 5 accounts. It only fills like 3 of the accounts, and then if 3 of them fill, I get the stupid red rhythmic notification saying some orders did not fill, and I frickin' give back profits, additional profits on 2 of my accounts. Like, I hate it. Like, it's nice because I've been having a great week, but this is why I stopped using the stupid copy trader. This is 2 times now it's happened this week that it didn't fill 2 of my accounts. Why, Dark Relic? Why did it? Anyway, sorry. That's my temper tantrum. I'm good. Done trading today. Misread both drops this morning. I'm gonna go attend a Jabroni Anonymous meeting. Nice side gig, Guru. Such a good channel this is. I don't say that like I actually logged onto YouTube and hit the like button. Oh, thanks, Snaptown. Appreciate you. Is today your first day, or you been here before? What's up? Thank you. Welcome. Looks oversold. Yeah, we got a little bounce there with volume. Somebody said the 60%, the 60-minute 50%. I think that was Mojo. Good on you. You don't like Tradeovate? No, I do. I prefer rhythmic, and the Quan Tower is fantastic. I love the broker, even though I've been having some rhythmic issues lately. But overall, yeah. All right, y'all, come on. Let's wrap it up. It's trading time. Go into the cogwheel and click this. The order limitation. Disable order limitation. Okay. I've been watching you on and off the last few weeks. Really like what you do. Oh, thanks, Naptown. I appreciate you. Well, thank you for supporting the channel and being here. And the kind comments. It's nice to end the day on a nice, kind comment. Not a lot of kindness out there on the internet these days. I passed my 3-for-3 TPT eval. Now I just need to trade 2 more days to go funded and not blow them the day I go funded. Slow and steady wins the race, baby. Slow and steady. Here, I've been cultivating 5 past funded accounts now for a couple of weeks. I finally hit my 2x buffer. Last week, this week, I'm harvesting what I sowed. I've had great day. I started out the week mundane, a couple of hits here and there nicely. And then yesterday, or what was it? Wednesday was a big day. Yesterday was a big day. And so far today, I'm up a lot per account. So, I mean, it's just now is where you reap the benefits. Once you hit that 2x buffer unfunded, you start to reap the benefits. You've got a little bit more wiggle room for drawdown because you've got buffer. And now you can play your confident positions with nice position sizing, proper position sizing, get your couple of $100 per account, more if you catch a big win, and that's it. That's the power of TLT, or TPT, daily payouts with funded accounts. Once you do the work, cultivate your system, and then you harvest what you sow. You can't use CQG? I can. I just prefer rhythmic. I got 100% of my puts and got stopped out as 160, so I missed a decent amount. Jabronis. Absolutely jabronis. Go ahead. It's another... Yeah. What size would you suggest trading with a 50K account? Micros. Just don't go more than micros. You can use 10 micros. You can use 5. It depends on your trading prowess. I don't know how good you are at trading. I don't know what your track record is. But do not go over micros with a 50K account. Not until your 2x buffer. You're out of a short at 68.90. Nice, Travis. Well done. After that, try playing a random order and see if it plays all of them, because it should be very smooth. Okay. I'll give that a shot. Another topic back over. All right, so after catching that short position for me, and now we're rolling back over, there's a couple of things that are going through my mind here. One, double bounce. Roll back over, catch people trying to reshort, bounce it, and now they fly it up to 540. Number two, secondary leg down into liquidity, take out 25,386 and go into the 340 block of liquidity, which will be a very high quality bounce zone. So if you're looking for a trade, a secondary trade here, I don't want a front run to get back into another trade so quickly. Now I want to be patient for another high quality trade. The more patient you are into the afternoon, the more you're going to be rewarded. And that which makes me excited. That stuff excites me more than trying to immediately get back into another trade. Is the longer I wait, given a certain set of circumstances, the more I'm going to be rewarded. So if this does roll back over and start tapping 360, 340, 330, I'm going to watch the volume. If I get a volume spike, it's going to make me tumescent with anticipation. And I'm going to enter the long position, roll up my trailing stop, and Manos Erebus. And then I'm going to go start my weekend. There we go. 25,412. Beautiful 3C short on gold, 100%. 25,420. I may have to ban GIFs during until about 11 a.m. Hit 2% PM on my account. Nice, Sir Andre. Well done. Hey, what's up, Serenity? Old school Serenity now. Old Discord subscriber. Welcome. Still pop in every now and then. Do you still evaluate order flow on Bookmap? Sir Bot Gamma. I do still. Yeah, in fact, this week I've been having software problems with Discord. Once I figure that out, it'll be back on the stream. But that's only a very isolated event here that I'm not using that. But I still use it 100%. How many micro contracts are you using once you on the 50K account you build a 2K buffer? Once I hit the 2K buffer, I start trailing into, or I start building into one or two micro or mini positions. But that's me personally. Still, once you build the buffer, you have to realize what makes TPT so incredibly powerful is the daily payouts. And once you can go 2x buffer, and you no longer have to deal with the trailing drawdown, now you can think about it one or two ways. You could start putting on risk to really start eating into a lot of profit and make big days with 5 accounts or 1 account or whatever you're doing, or you could play it very conservatively. I'm going to play 2 micros. I'm going to make $100 a day times 5 accounts, and I'm going to pull out $500 every day. It's very, very doable with 5 accounts with micros if you know what you're doing. So you could do a couple of different things there. It's really depending on your system. And to me, I go about like Monday and Tuesday for me. I was smaller position sizing. I only made a couple $100 per account. The past 3 days, I've upped it to 1 or 2 minis, and I've been making anywhere between $800 per account to $2,000 per account. And it's depending on the circumstance. It depends on the confidence. It depends on the environment. It depends on the volatility. As volatility has built into the end of the week, I've increased my position sizing a little bit because I do well with volatility. At the beginning of the week, when things are choppier and erratic and wicky, I go into smaller position sizing. But that's me personally. Subscription deleted. I full port at times when I have super high conviction with Top Step. Ooh, that's a terrible idea. Yeah, I don't condone that. I don't condone that at all. Everyone's double down. Yeah. Another day with daily Met accounts locked. Nice, Damien. Well done, buddy. Well done. Interesting take from Burry. Might you say that again about the double bottom? And what? So there's 2 outcomes here to account for on the secondary rollover. Number 1 is you got the double bounce scenario. Bounce 1, fail, and then go. Number 2 is bounce and then plunge lower and then start an accumulation process in a high liquidity zone. All that to say is that wait for confirmation, higher high 3Cs. I've already closed out my short position. I'm not looking to get in another trade just yet. For me, I'm not in a hurry. Things don't look that great at the moment. We have a tremendous amount. And you know how I use the options. If they start to really pile into calls and sell off the puts, then I'm going to play to 540, 560. But right now, I'm not seeing anything to tell me that they're going to put on a significant bounce yet. Not in the traditional manner, at least. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait. And if they start taking out what is this? Let's call it 470. They take out 470, you're going to have about 50 points of wiggle room to get into a position up to the new high, to get to another pivot. In fact, I need to take this out. That's not a qualified position or qualified line. You're welcome, PHAT. What's your max risk per day then? I don't account for it. There's not a number in my head that I shut things down. I don't do that. All that is accounted for on the front end of my system with position sizing. I know me. I know my system. I know, given my win rate, given my ability to identify entries, given my average loss, is that if as long as I stick with my position sizing, that even when I do lose, I'm not getting destroyed. And that's the whole thing of risk mitigation. If I'm slinging 10 minis, one loss can smoke me. And the only way you do well when you're over positioning is when you're absolutely killing it and you've got a 95% win rate, which I've done before. But the second you have a loss, you undo so much work and effort. So for me, as long as I'm doing proper risk mitigation on the front end, I'm never going to get destroyed. Yes, I'm going to take losses, several losses, but I'm never going to get destroyed on any one trade. And that's the key. That's what you need to strive for. If you want true peace in your system, you need to have the knowledge that on any one trade, you're not going to get destroyed. You're not going to undo weeks and weeks worth of progress on one stupid trade. Yeah, this looks like a failure to go lower here. I would look for 383. Be aware, though, this is a yellow block liquidity, which means is that there's very little draw on liquidity left here. So I would surmise that if we tap this level, we're going to make quick work of it, and then we'll test into this 360 block. Gold's beautiful 3C short, of course. Now we're putting on a base, but there you go. The 3Cs, man, watch the stupid volume. A monkey could do it. I could teach a monkey to trade with volume. Long. Give me a banana. Give me a banana. Nasdaq's coming down. 2.3 billion calls sold. 2.2 billion puts purchased. Nearly 6 billion. Actually 5 billion. Sorry, I can't do math. 5 billion almost. A negative delta. Dropping. I know everybody wants to buy the dip. Trust me, I get you. Just be patient. Just be patient. 530, 540 is the SR flip. Not anymore. That was this morning, but that's already been dealt with. That's why I deleted it. That was this morning. Now it would be right here at 500. Would be the SR flip pivot. Have I used unusual whales? I used it a long time ago. Like when it first started becoming popular, I wasn't a fan of it, and I stopped my subscription. It could be a lot better. It's been years since I've used it, but I use SpotCam. SpotCam is a fantastic resource. Very analytical, very unbiased. It's just what the data shows. And of course, the products themselves are very useful and they're very reliable. Is there anything else you watch when taking a trade on gold or just volume? No, I use the 3Cs on everything. That's the mechanism I use to trade everything, and gold included. All right, dropping back down on NASDAQ here. You'll probably see we've got this little tightening formation forming, which some people would analyze to be a bullish wedge. You would not be wrong. The thing is here is that you have to be patient for the bounce. We have a tremendous amount of volatility. Considering we're on a steady downtrend, we have consistent volume. The bigger the trend, the more aggressive the trend, the higher the volume you have to demand to put on a front run position. It doesn't mean they can't bounce it on lower or average volume. They can. They do it a lot. What I'm saying is confidence. Your driver of confidence is the measure of volume. The higher the volume, the more aggressive you could be on the front running position. The earlier in the 3C process you can be with the high volume stuff is what I'm saying. Yeah, they can still do tricks on it, 100%. Even still, position sizing. In my opinion, they're at least going to attack this 384 liquidity draw and then into the 345, 360 block, which is what they're doing post-haste. Right here. Dropping on down. How do I get taught how to trade volume by yourself? Well, you could join the streams here. You could join the streams. This is obviously a free resource for people who don't want to do anything else. You have the Discord that you can come join and ask questions, and I'm doing some posting. I'm in the process of continuing adding value. There's just the sweep of liquidity draw. Once we take this out, I'll look for 350. $25 a month for the Discord. McDonald's meal. You can come learn how to trade and be around like-minded individuals. Have some fun. The podcasts are a great resource, not all the time trading related, but most of the time. But hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, hanging out with us, being supportive. TheOptionsMillionaire.com. Go join, sign up. All right, 370 coming off. Looking for 340, 350 here. That's going to be the next liquidity draw. All the way down, baby. All the way down. 2.6 billion puts, 2.5 billion calls. All the way down. Right here. Drawing on liquidity. Gold getting wrecked. You see why I made this block yellow? Does everybody understand that? Why I made this block yellow? Let's go, baby. VIX 1575. I found a new music to listen to this week. I think that's why I'm performing so well. I'm locked in with the music. All right, 362 and dropping. 364. Let's go back and look. Give me the 15. The overarching low here is about 320, but the draw starts at 360. And we're already eating into it. Already eating into it. We don't have outlier volume. We have some volume spikes, but we don't have outlier volume yet. So I can't even think about front running because we don't have outlier volume. We do have a volume spike, sure. Could lead us to a 3C bounce, but we don't have an outlier volume given the environment, so I can't even think about putting on an aggressive front run position. So I have to wait for the 3Cs if I'm going to play a bounce. Until then, I'm going to look for about 345 to 350 or signs that they're going to bounce it. What am I listening to? It's this concentration music play YouTube video I've got playing in the background. There we go, 380. Give it to me, baby. Starting to close out a couple of call positions here. Small, itty-bitty little bottom wick. Let's see what they can do. $1K contract sitting on the bid. Beautiful. I don't think Rick James is concentration music. What yellow box right here on the chart? 25,385 or so. Topic back over. And that's due to this draw on liquidity on the wick. So we've already filled some of that liquidity here on this bounce, but it left a little bit of wick to be desired, and we blew right through it. That's why you don't play the bounces off that level. That's why I changed the color. This, you see, we just had a first tap of liquidity draw, which is 362, and now we're going to fill down into the bulk of this stuff. You're going to have some defense here. You're going to have some defense here. It may not be a full-on bounce, but you're going to have some defense. So this is where things start getting sticky-icky. And they're going to, maybe they make quick work out of it. I don't know. Big red candle, all the way down, into liquidity of 341. Amazing stuff. 333 all the way at the bottom. High volumes coming in. High volumes coming in. That is outlier volume into the liquidity. That is outlier volume into the liquidity. What are they going to do with that candle? 330, 329. Testing. Taking out the lows of 322. Whew, wow. Smoked it. Smoked it. 316, 319. Still buying puts and selling calls too. Aggressive. Wow. Muy aggressive. Muy aggressive. VIX is up to 16. We're at 320. High volume coming in. Took out the whole liquidity sweep there. No defense. Still dropping, still drawing lower. No bottom wicks even on smaller time frames. Gold's coming down. Incredibly high volume. A little bit of shakeout coming on here. All the way down. Boom. Now here comes the defense. Significant trend. Significant trend. Got out too soon. Heck yeah. You and me both, man. Most of my trades I get out too soon. That's the problem. Y'all talk about, how do I stop getting out too soon? Like 97% of my trades I get out way earlier than I want to. So it's never enough when you're in a trend. Never enough. High volume bottom wick right there. Back up to 320. That's a tremendous amount of volume coming in after a very aggressive downtrend. They put on one singular bottom wick so far. The 1 minute can't put in a higher high yet into liquidity. If it fails this, it'll be another 100 points down on NASDAQ. Another 100 points down. Aggressive selling. $306. Gold is 43.36 right there. Beautiful. The 1 minute, if you clear over the 325, we'll have a retest a little bit up here. But that is incredibly high volume here too. So who's gonna have the cojones to jump in front of that thing and long it? Who's gonna have the cojones to jump in front of that and long it? Booyah. 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 I switched over to YM. I really enjoy the slower action. There you go. When does theta decay kick in for the zeros? Into the late morning session, theta really starts to eat. Of course, theta is always active. We know that. But right about 11 o'clock, it really starts to eat, to take its toll. And then, of course, power hour. I mean, theta is insane. You threw a Michael on the long? A micro? Nice. All the action hit at 10 a.m. That's like Big R Audio, man. That's right. Look at that. Look at that. I'm pretty sure someone wrote a song about this. Something along the lines of, let me hear you say, na, something like that. I don't know. Volume. Volume. What's up, Salim? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Dun 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 dun. It's good stuff, baby. It's good stuff. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. Like, that's it. That's it for me. That's it. It's a fantastic week. It's a fantastic week. It's jerky weekend, baby. I gotta make some deer jerky. About 50 pounds of it. $370 and going, baby. High volume. Outlier volume is what you need to look for to stop this trend. We got it. It bounced. And there you go. It's good stuff. You stay and keep making money with us. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm not leaving yet. I'm not leaving yet. I still have uno hora. It's going to be a spicy afternoon. I can feel it. It's going to be a spicy afternoon. ES looks like it trend down and fill the gap at 6780. 67. You heard that, huh? Esto no bueno. It's no bueno. ES reach support area too, definitely. Is it time to long this? We had a little scalp long there. It's fantastic. Just be patient. They bought back a tremendous amount of calls, about $1 billion worth of calls. So we're going to see what they're going to do. We are going to see what they are going to do. I suck at shorting, so I only look at longs. No, I think that's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. The vast majority of traders look for the short position far too often. Short trading it's like a double-edged sword because it's incredibly profitable and it's fun when you're right, but it requires an incredible amount of patience, and unfortunately the short side of the trade is played way too often. Nice little bottom weight. There's a double bounce. There's a double bounce. I'll take a free $100. Nice juice box. Nice. Oh, I think this could be the recovery. If they can hold this, I think this could be a recovery. Look at the call volume. Look at the call options. Look at the call options over here. If they can close this high, I think we'll have a decent recovery up to 400, 450. Look at the call options. This is different. It's a change of character on the option chain. We're probably going to have some shakeout here, but look at the calls. We have extremely high volume. We've tapped into major liquidity. All we need to do is close over 375, and I think we could have a quick 100-pointer on NASDAQ. Fighting the urge to sell puts. If it takes out 375, I think we could attack. Holds 375. I think we could hold, get a move back up to 440. We need to have the morning range put on. There we go. Morning range is coming on. There's the morning range right there. Red line. 300-point range, baby. Oh, yeah. Sell it. Sell it. If you're listening to Tier 2, I need to come up with a couple of days that I have the most amount of people on this call for tax. I'm going to call the name of the stream Legal Tax Evasion. Legal Tax Evasion. Or Legal Money Laundering, which one? We'll see what mood I'm in. Illegal's fine too. Can't joke about that on stream, unfortunately. As we've already seen, people on the internet love to tear down people who are successful because of their own sad, miserable lives. So if I even joke about that, I'll have the IRS at my door. Wonder if probably. A little bit of red. Can't close the higher high yet. We already know market makers in here. We do know the market makers in here. Yeah. I'm hungry. Is there any real tax loops or advantages for a regular person with no businesses or properties? It depends on how much cash you've got on hand. Here's the double-edged sword, and this may piss some people off. Humbly, the saying that, you know, how do I say this? I'll put it this way. Every single thing that I talk with my financial advisor, all the little things, all the little neat stuff, the tax deferments, it's all there's all minimal investment number. There's minimal entry points for dollar amounts in order to do these things. And once you achieve those dollar amounts, it's one of those things that if you can get to that first gate of minimal investment required, you're off to the races. Because those investments pay off such large dividends that it puts you way ahead. Not to mention the other side of the thing, poor people don't like separating themselves from their spending possibilities. When you give $50,000 to a financial advisor for an investment, you can't go buy stupid shoes, you can't go on vacations, you can't buy TVs, because it's gone. But people want that short term. Anyway, but in terms of actual financials, yes, you don't have to have businesses or properties. You just have to have cash. You have to have liquidity. I already do some shady tax stuff, but that only screws over my state taxes. I know if there's a Fed in here, the current administration would give me a bonus for screwing over Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah, 401k, Roth IRA, those are all tax loopholes, but those are all basic stuff. Those are stuff that you're not going to really take advantage of until until you are in your elder years. But right now, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity that would blow your mind to reduce your taxable income very, very much and pay a return. But you have to have cash. It also depends on how risky you want to be, too. You got to take some risk. Obviously, there's always a risk. Nothing comes without risk. I have a severe allergic reaction to taxes. Severe. And I will do everything in my power. I would give my financial advisor 50 grand if it means I don't have to pay 10 grand to the government. I would rather pay someone else money than give it to the government. I will do everything in my power to reduce my taxable income to zero if possible. Screw taxes. Taxation is theft. Don't pay taxes. There's not a single positive argument for taxes left. Not anymore. Don't pay taxes. Legally, don't pay taxes. Anyway. Futures scare me. It's probably ignorance. What are the advantages of future over options? You don't have all the Greeks. Futures are still a leveraged product, obviously. They're still very aggressive, obviously. But they don't have the Greeks. They don't have theta. When would I pay taxes? If I trusted the government to utilize my tax money for proper usage. Right now, it's not. It's being pissed away left and right. All right, here's a bottom wick. If we can get over 375, we will try to make a move, but only then. I think there it is. I may do it. That may do it. Even gold's bouncing. Pass my eval. Nice, Travis. Well done, buddy. Now you get to enjoy your weekend with amazing stuff. It's a great feeling going to a weekend profitable. You can have 2 days off without having to worry about price action. It's good stuff. You guys keep me accountable. That's why we're here, Travis. Like-minded individuals. Only thing taxes should be used for is public safety, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Well, I disagree on the healthcare part and the education part, but the other two things, I definitely agree with. Appreciate the stream. Hope everyone is green. Nice fat lip. Appreciate you, buddy. I love your content. Hope you continue to do these streams. Thank you. I will continue to do these streams until y'all don't want me here anymore. I'm definitely a free market capitalist. I let y'all decide when I leave until it affects my quality of life, and then I decide. I'd find you. Some people have already found me, so it's alright. I can handle it. $373 right here. You see this little SR flip? It's not quite crystal clear. I would put a little range. First, I'm going to delete this little yellow box. I'm going to delete that. But you can kind of see it. Just put in a couple of thoughts. Just right about here's your SR flip. Generally, it needs to hold just about this range to start getting up to the upper levels. Finally, I got a message from someone on Top Zipper. Responded, haven't heard anything in about an hour. Tell me about it, Megabaguli. Project X wouldn't let you close your position during Globex last night. Account got railed. Man, that thing's been having a lot of issues. It's terrible. All right, here we go. Holding it. We have a little bit of put selling. There we go. All highlighted by volume. All highlighted by volume. I'm just worried they're not going to do anything about it. Well, I hope they do the right thing. I hope they do the right thing. And it's one of those days that I'm just ravenously hungry. Why am I so hungry? What does Hero look like right now? I'll show you. It's very extreme, but they are in the process of trimming. Right there. There you go. What's up, Kennedy? It's snowing again? Nice. We have the first clear sky day we've had in weeks. It's nice. I woke up starving, broke my eat once a day rule. There you go. Remember the time OM shared Hero and it froze up as the market was bouncing after a several 100-point drop. I was like, Hero's staying negative, I'm holding. Uh-oh. I've been trading poorly for 5 years, but I've gotten tremendously better the last 3 years since I found you. Either get their stubbornness and the blessings of curse. Nice side gig. Appreciate you. That makes me very happy. I love hearing your success stories. I know how difficult and challenging this can be, and I appreciate you choosing Options Millionaire Community for your trading needs. I try to keep things as simple as I can. Haven't taken an additional trade yet. Not since the big dump and then, of course, the very small scalp long. That is it. I don't know if I'll take another trade. We'll see how crazy things get. I took a trade on accident, but it made money. That's always a good thing. Can you please explain the yellow box and green blocks? I'm new and I'm trying to understand. You said 3Cs a lot of time. What does that mean? Do you have any videos? I do have a video on the 3Cs. Yes, sir. Let me get that. Or ma'am, sorry. Let me get that, and then I'll get into your second question. Let's see. There's the video on the 3Cs. So I want to be very much situational aware. I want to be aware of the market conditions. Now, what do we have going on here? First, let's zoom out. Let's go to the 60. What do we have? We have now 2 remaining draws. We started the week off with 4 draws on liquidity, which means here. Hold on a second. Let me get this set. Here. And what about here? I forget what the other one was. Right about there. So starting the week off, pretend none of this is here. You know, pretend that's not there. We had these draws on liquidity means where the price action has dropped and aggressively moved. I don't care about choppy stuff like this or this. I want to see aggressive responses because aggressive responses tell me liquidity. That's where I want to place the bulk of my trades, my high confidence trades at least. And it's formed by the wicks. When the price action trends into an area and we have an aggressive response of those areas, it leaves behind liquidity. The bigger the wick, the more aggressive the response, the more confident that liquidity is going to be. So I plot these levels. We defended this one significantly, we deleted that one. And then so on and so on down, and we just deleted them as they go, because once they clear, they're no longer actionable. You gotta delete them off. We have 2 remaining stuff here. We have this one that is now cleared because that was the last remaining liquidity here back on December 2nd. And now we have the last one, which is 25,227. This one's very significant. Why? It's the last major pivot of the downside before we start getting the sell-off mode. In addition, it's the SR flip down in this area. So we're going to have response here from November 17th. It's a response from November 20th. So we're going to have SR flip action into this area. So we have a tremendous amount of exposure occurring in this box. And if we take this out, I would not hope for a bounce, at least for another 1,000 points on NASDAQ. So it's a very important level. I'm not saying we're going to blow right through it. I'm saying if they finally close under, especially next week's volatility, we're going to put in some lows down to the 24,598. Here comes NASDAQ, rolling back over again. Now this yellow blocks is the higher high that I need to close. If I'm looking to take a long position on the 5-minute, I need them to close over this pivot because I let the market tell me what to do. The market is telling me through prior price action, we have this failure of a wick, this failure, these 3 failures, and now, of course, this failure. So the market's telling me this block at 380 is the last line of defense for the sellers here. The sellers are defending 380. I need to get over it. All this is just chess. I need to get over this block of liquidity here. This is like blitzkrieg over here. And once it closes and the sellers tell me, hey, we're done, the buyers have overcame, now we can start looking for a drift higher to the next liquidity, which is about 430, 440, and then up to 540, 550, and then up we go. But you want it. My goal in trading is to catch the right side of the V. If I'm playing a bounce, let's say the market's downtrending. If the market's downtrending, I want to play the right side of the V, meaning I want to trade here, not here. I want to play the bounce after it's already formed, because once a significant bounce starts to occur, the chances of it dropping and selling all the way back off are not that high. That's why you have to wait for a close on the higher high. Now, are you going to be right all the time? No, but you're not going to chase a falling knife if you follow these principles. I'm done for the week. Thanks for another one of the books. Nice, Mojo. I appreciate your help. I got your DMs. I'm gonna respond, and we're gonna work this thing out, baby. I have big hopes for this. Appreciate all your work. You're welcome, Vip. You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Let's got $200 now looking at your charts. Appreciate it. Another top wick. I love winter and snow, but since I started changing my position, the more. Oh, look at that. 2.6 billion puts, 2.7 billion calls sold. Look at this. Holy smokes. That is a shake and bake candle if I've ever seen one. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm having rhythmic issues. I'm having rhythmic issues. Wow. I don't know what the crap that was, but that was intense. What's going on here? What do we know? What do we know? Right inside major liquidity with incredible volume. Incredible volume. Wow. I think we're supposed to have an FOMC speech today, like a very minor one, but did he say something groundbreaking here? Like, what the crap, dude? Wow. GC's dumping again. Right inside liquidity. VIX spiked to 17. 229. Wow. 235, 240. Wow. Insane, dude. Absolutely insane. Wow. Wow. Sorry. I love seeing stuff like that. I don't see anything to cause that. It's just liquidity breach, man. Do you see how aggressive this liquidity is? But look, let's go back. I mean, if this is it, like we may see it right here. Tremendous, tremendous option flow. Tremendous. $120.5 minute candle. It's incredible. Gold's dumping. Extraordinary. Wow. All the way back up, baby. Look at that volume. That might be the highest 1 minute volume candle of the week. That might be the highest 1 minute volume candle of the month. Last line of defense. What is the daily chart? What does that make the daily chart? Look at the daily chart. What does that tell you? Literally, this is a last line of defense. Like, this is a very important level until this right here, 24,600. This is called distribution. Look at the Wyckoff method. If you know what the Wyckoff method is, dude, I think I even have it up from this morning. Look at this. This is Wyckoff. Man, I get excited about this stuff. Look, this is Wyckoff. This is the whole phase of distribution. It takes days, weeks, months sometimes of patience. Every thrust is dumped. 1 thrust, 2 thrust, 3 thrust, 4, and then down, and you want to short phase D, the break underline, the lower low, the right side of the V, right side of the inverse V. Poof, sayonara. That's all she wrote. Markdown phase. This has been looking like distribution now for weeks, people. For weeks. Down she goes. Would you say we're in phase D? I think we're in phase D, yes. I would say that we're phase D. Or approaching phase D. Yeah. Wouldn't phase D be down at the break of 24? No, if you look at that phase D section, it's the last leg into support. And then phase E is the break lower. I think 675 was when Santa will show up. Maybe. Maybe. I love it. Playing on down, baby. $25,228 and dropping. I love it. If they take this out, man. NASDAQ's already down almost 2% and falling all the way down. It's amazing. Poof. VIX is skyrocketing, 1673. Let's see. Options are still very bearish. I love it. It's all I could find. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I think this is just liquidity, which it gives further strength to the bears. The fact that the price action is doing this without any catalyst. It's structured. When you have a structured settlement, but you need puts now. Yeah, it's not it. Still dropping, 195. 188 and going. It just took out liquidity. JG Putworth. I love it. I love it. Man, what a freaking day this is. 182. 3 billion puts, 3 billion calls sold nearly. And it's coming down. We're approaching 6 billion of negative delta. Approaching 6 billion negative delta. Whew. Hot and spicy. Hot and spicy. Whew. S&P single put looking for a good time. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Look at this. 25,184. ES is coming off. Gold getting crushed. Gold with the 3C top wick. RTY. Market-wide drop here. Markets in turmoil. Tonight at 8 p.m. CNN. Tune in. 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Nearly 3 billion. Let's go, baby. 25,200. When you need a structured settlement. Hit caps lock. Had to run a Home Depot before the open. Missed my short entry. Kind of pissed, but trying to remind myself there's always the opportunity. Plunge for team protection teams coming soon. I think so, yeah. Like I said, I do think they'll bounce this into the afternoon. It's just whether or not we're going to identify the right pivot. I think this is just prepping for next week. Holy buckets, locked in max profit on the TPT I bought this morning after being stupid yesterday. Nice, Nancy. I love it. Well done. The reversal will be the violent. On the 5-minute chart, yes, the reversal will be violent. But on the daily chart, this is a reversal. You're looking at it. The downside reversal. Distribution into Wyckoff phase D into phase E. Distribution into mark down. You know how patient you have to be to remain in distribution thesis into December bull mode when everyone's screaming for new all-time highs and Santa rally. Bruh. My gold swing long position just triggered limit buy. Nice. Wow. Incredible stuff, dude. Absolutely incredible stuff. At the trend line? Which one? Show me. I ain't got no time to go plot. Show me. Is Oracle our black swan? I don't know. I shorted 6903.53 contracts. I was happy with the 5 point. Not so happy now. That's all right. That's all right. That's why it's another argument, though. I don't know if that's normal position sizing, but another argument for not overextending and going big position sizing. We all dream about max position sizing and putting on a big move, but we all know you're not going to hold it. You're going to freak out the second you see green take profit, and you're going to kick yourself for not holding. Whereas you could put on a medium or small position and hold for much longer. Top wick, 202. What are they going to do? Man, oh man. Increíble. Increíble. 204. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole they're going to take this thing. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole they're going to take this thing. I just made money while hanging out with my jabroni friends and watching Scooby-Doo with my 3-year-old. That's called American Dream right there, baby. What a day. What a day. What does this low volume bounce tell us? Is it actually low volume, though? So we had a tremendous amount of volume. Tremendous. Probably one of the highest 1-minute volume candles we've had this month. We had a high volume spike at 1104. Now, it's not high volume compared to the major one, but it's high volume compared to every other candle we've had today. So, for now, just wait for a higher high. I don't know when they're going to bounce it, because right now they're smoking this thing. And I don't want to sit here and try to catch the bounce, and then miss the downside. So when the bounce happens, we'll take it. There's plenty of upside to be had when they bounce it. For now, I would either remain short biased or neutral until they put in a higher high. What's the higher high now? I would take this little puppy. I would hit Control C. I would hit Control V. And then I would move it down to roughly, I would put it about here. I'd put it about there. That's what you need to take out to long on NASDAQ. Think about risk-reward. Risk-reward. The risk of buying the bottom for a big reward is extremely high. You could get, boom, all the way down because there's no indication that this is in fact the bottom. If you wait for the 233, a lot of people think, oh man, I've already missed out on 40, 50 points if I wait for 240, 230. But if they close 230, 240, you can gain another 200 points of upside. A mere investment of $5,000 can pay in returns of $50,000. Oh, that could pay off my mortgage. John, I don't ask you to judge me on my winners or my losers because I have so few. Something like that. I don't know. All right, anyway, 25, 180, we're dropping. Looking for lower low. I just rewatched that movie earlier this week. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Here we go, 170. Boom, new low of the day and falling. And I'm free. Wow, baby. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. Bottom wicking. Can they hold that bottom wick? Was anyone watching SPX premiums when that happened? Negative. Bottom wick. There we go. Boom. 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 I'm done. I'm spent. Give me a cigarette. Give me a cigarette. I'm done. I don't even smoke. I don't even smoke. I don't even smoke. Give me a stogie. I'm done. I'm going to sleep. Oh, yeah. Sorry. What a day, man. What a day. Gah! What a day. Sorry. What's up? What's up, Serenity Static? 5-minute candles gross. Yeah. All right, 2220. That's a double bounce-a-roni with cheese right there, baby. That is a double bounce-a-roni with cheese. All the way up. Stop it. Your influence trader with your sound effects. Sorry, GG7. Apologize. This has been a fantastic week. This is one of those weeks where everything's working. So I'm a little scared because next week is a ton of volatility and I need to be on my A game, and I don't want to use up all my juice. I think I might have used up all my juice this week. All my juice is used up. I promise you the market is always going to do the same exact thing all the time. It's always going to do the same thing. It's going to do the same exact thing it did in 2007, 2008, 2009. It's just going to do the same exact thing. It always does. Why, when an old line you don't even remember placing works? Isn't that funny? Yeah. I'm just waiting along this, but I'm too scared. Hey, scared money don't make money, Chris. Scared money don't make money. I'd rather you take one single micro on a position on a good quality setup that you're scared to take rather than nothing. Assuming it's a good quality position, of course. Your system says so. I'm very happy for you. Thank you, GG7. I'm a Christian. I've been trying hard at this for years. It keeps me hopeful to see God bless a really good person that helps others. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always try to tell myself that God doesn't care about our finances in terms of this type of prosperity, but He blesses people, hopefully, that He knows will be a steward of His finances to help others. That's what I always try to do. Help others in as much as I can. I appreciate that. Have a little fun along the way. Be a positive. There's so much negativity in the world. I always try to be a positive influence somehow. I have my flaws, though. What's up, Sam? You're up big? Love it, buddy. I love it. I love it. 25,220. If we can close that high, there's plenty of upside opportunity. Plenty of upside opportunity. Can you help me lose so I can get this account back down? Did you go over the 50%, David? You know how to do it. Just put in 3 or 5 minis and just market open, market close, market open, market close, market open, market close until you inch down. Don't try to lose money because you'll end up making more. Just use commissions to do the heavy lifting there. To whom is given, much is required. 100%. 100%. Why would God bless you with a lot if you can't do anything with what you have? Yep, twice. Okay. 25,205. Plenty of upside. There you go. Bank of Japan will hike rates by 25 BPS on December 19th. Japan's the largest holder of U.S. government debt. $664 on a 598 Q put dated 12/16. Loving it. Patience does pay. Nice, Damien. I love it, buddy. Well freaking done. Well freaking done. They are not buying back calls yet. They're not selling off the puts yet. The VIX is not coming down yet. Will we get a bounce? I do think we'll get an aggressive bounce into the day. Just like when they do those crazy green days where it just never sells and goes up and up and up and up, my favorite trade is to wait for the last 30, 20 minutes of the day and short the crap out of it. If they dump this all day long, there's going to be a beautiful bounce into power hour. Beautiful. Some would say the most beautiful you've ever seen. If you can just wait, stop trying to play the bounce until it comes. You either, one or two reasons you need to play the bounce between now and closure of business. Either you get a phenomenal 3C, or you wait until the last power hour. Put you on a good 10 to 20 point outside the money call, pay you about 50 cents for it, take your hands off, go get you some Manizette, go get you a Coke, go take a walk. When's the last time any of y'all have ran? When's the last time you have ran? Anyone? I bet there's a bunch of people. It's been years since you've done anything more than a fast walk. Go for a run. In fact, that's your trading homework. Every single person listening to my voice, go for a run or go for a run. If you have physical limitations, like you don't have a leg or something, do something else. Get your heart rate up. Yeah, I know you juice box. You have a good excuse. Do you take into account clearing 8-9 EMAs? Not anymore. I used to account for EMAs, but the market kind of disregarded any trend following or pattern following, things like that back in 2021. When the markets go straight up for 12 months straight, it's difficult to play those, so they were more of a distraction to me. I did sprints a month ago. It was embarrassing. Hey, you did them. You did them. Get better every day. Get better every day, even if it's only 0.01% better. Get better every day. That's the secret to success. You get better every day. Don't do nothing. That's the worst thing you can do. Each time you log off, I walk downstairs and grab a breakfast sandwich, walk by the water, then head back for power hour. Nice, Zach. Walk downtown. It's awesome stuff, man. Well, the snow makes that difficult. It may make it difficult, but not impossible. Good. Snowing outside? Good. China just detonated a nuclear bomb? Good. Radiation will make your lungs tougher. I am a big believer in financial fitness, or physical fitness, though, with trading. somehow, some way. Big believer. Is it a good idea to enter a trade and keep hands off till the market at close, given how choppy price action is? It depends on what your thesis is. If your thesis is we're going to reclaim some of this sell-off, then put on this very small, long position, set your stop at which you don't want to give back any more money, and then shut the brokerage off. And whatever happens, happens. If you think we're going down, then short it and take your hands off. I'm 100% selling puts and power hour today. I've already decided. Nice. I like the gumption. I like the gumption. So this is incredible change of character price action. We've blown through all major liquidity. These are not mundane liquidity zones that we are eating up here. This isn't just some like last week low. This is multi-month, multi-week lows we are blowing through. SR flips. This is a significant macro event that I hope you all can appreciate. After 2 weeks, if not more, of distribution, we have finally hit the liquidity lower and blasted right through it as if it wasn't even there. This is called a change of character event into markdown event. Right here. You shorted that wick. Nice, Twizzy. Well freaking done. Well done, sir. It's a good play. They're not buying calls. They're not selling puts. We're just going. Going. Very, very big move to the upside. To the downside. They just thrusted that candle down, immediately bottom wicked with volume. Maybe it's a shakeout candle. Either way, we need some more confirmation. If they fail this, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be a huge punishment if they fail this. Huge punishment if they fail this. You should for sure have been shaking your pom-poms about distribution. I have a pretty keen eye for looking at rollovers. I may be a little bit early sometimes, but I've got a pretty good eye for identifying when the market's transitioning. It's taken me a while. Remember, I formed my thesis on October 9th. And so I'm pretty happy with my analysis overall. Right there. October 9th is when I officially switched to distribution mode on the publicly at least. I mean, we're at all-time highs. What do you mean? I've been following closely the last few weeks. Do you think this is the beginning of markdown? I do. I think today could thrust us into markdown. And we still have a lot going on next week. There's going to be a lot of battling. I'm not going to say just we're going to blast down 500 points every day from here. But this is certainly a lot of selling, and this is a process now we've been going on since October 9th. And multiple high volume sells, multiple top wicks. We have a ton of volatility next week. We've just wiped through major liquidity. So I do think that's it. Yeah, I do think we're in the phase of markdown. NASDAQ sweeping bottom wick, still going. See if we can really get a blast here. Possible. It's possible. And we'll get an expansion candle. That'd be great. I appreciate you, Nancy. Thank you. I try. I ran until I tore my meniscus. I thought I had a high pain tolerance, but I was like the guy in the movies that gets shot in the knee and falls down screaming. You know, that's stuff. That's hard to do stuff. I wish I had a video of the table saw whacking me in the face back this spring. I look like a dude getting sniped in Saving Private Ryan. No, you cause more damage. I would take mine over a torn meniscus because this is easy to heal. You know, a week later I was back to normal. Even though a centimeter to the left, now I'd have been blind for the rest of my life. That kind of sucked. All right, nice little bounce here with volume. We have a 3C. They're selling off a bunch of puts. What's the character here? What's the market doing? We have a pattern forming. Am I a pattern trader? Am I a trend trader? No. However, my job as a trader from a situational analysis is to determine what the market is doing from a patternized aspect and try to exploit it to the max extent possible. We have this little channel forming back and down. Am I going to execute off this pattern? Absolutely not. I'm not a pattern trader. But I am going to be aware of the fact that this is the pattern they're placing in. So my goal is to figure out when the market's going to go change of character, break patterns, start putting in a 3C bounce, and claim higher highs, and then see if we can start eating up 50% moves. That's the first thing. What's the 50% target? It would be roughly 377. My gut says we're going to test that before the close of business. I could be dead wrong. There's no indication of that happening yet, but it's just the way they do things. Most likely, we'll at least test this little 377 mark. Or is it 367? I used to run into my motorcycle accident. I nearly lost. I hate to hear that, Big R audio man. Yeah, I know that's not fun. I just ordered some BPC 157. I'm going to inject it into myself like a degenerate weirdo. I have no idea what that is. Is that like a psychedelic or penis enhancement drug? I mean testosterone. 25217. Look at that. They sold off a lot of puts. They're trickling and buying calls. I see I missed some massive moves. We've had some pretty awesome day today, math. Pretty awesome day. 15-minute, we have a bottom wick. We have a bottom wick. BPC 157 is a peptide supposed to increase rate of healing. My doctor recommended it, but he said he couldn't officially prescribe it because it's not FDA approved. Interesting. I'll hope it heals you up. Bottom wick, retest. Remember this liquidity block we talked about earlier. We put this here earlier, and look what's happened. 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, 4. Right here. See why I plot liquidity blocks? It keeps me safe. It's a peptide. It's a new thing in fitness. It's supposed to be healthy, actually. It's in doses. Will it get me jacked? That's what I want. I want to go into my 50s absolutely yoked. Absolutely yoked. I want to look like I'm carrying suitcases all the time. That's how I want to. That's how I want to walk around. Holy crap! First, I need something to help me talk. Some peptides can help you get jacked, but not this particular one. Nice. I want to be like Rowing Brewski over here. That dude's yoked. You ever seen a picture of that guy? Still rejecting the liquidity. Gator needs some walking around money. That's right. I'm having fun today. I apologize. I apologize. I'm being unprofessional. I want to try stem cells on my back. I've had some disc removed. It might help. Interesting. The longer you wait on long, the more you'll be rewarded into power hour. I love when they extend the trends. I love it because it gives a beautiful mean reversion trade into power hour. Just wait. Oh man, you're hilarious. Thanks, BH. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Tell my wife that. Every time one of y'all tell me I'm funny, she rolls her eyes. So she has to live with me 24/7. She gets comedy all the time. I've accepted that I'm not built to be jacked, but I'm fairly lean, so I guess that's good. Oh, 100%, Chris. I mean, being lean is a good thing. I'm ginger, so I had to get jacked to make up for it. I'm partial ginger. My hair, when I did have it, was not red, but my beard, super red. Like ginger red if I grow that thing out. How do you listen to music but not have it come through the stream? Because the music doesn't pick up, the stream doesn't pick up the desktop music. It just picks up the microphone. Now I could put it through the YouTube, but I'll get a copyright infringement if it picks up on the YouTube. So I mute that too. I used to be lean and became more square as I got older. Are you my lost twin? I don't know. Are you half German, half Italian, half Puerto Rican, half Scottish? Then maybe. I mean, apparently I do have an illegitimate Filipino brother. Or no, Vietnamese brother. My dad was in Vietnam. And he knocked a chick up before he came back and left. And I didn't know about that till after he was dead. Not even joking either. So I have half Vietnamese dude out there somewhere. Looks like me. He was a terrible person. My dad was a terrible person. 1751 on the VIX. Can you imagine if he was a member of the stream, just somehow by the odds? He's like, wait a minute, my dad was American GI. I still have a ton long, beautiful hair. When I see really buff, bald guys in the gym, I remind myself of that to make me feel better. Yeah, I definitely don't have hair. Yeah. I think that was common. Yeah, it was actually so common that the American government passed a bill to allow all of those kids that were fathered by American GIs to immigrate over to America, to bring them over. And there was a lot of them. brother is that you? Any ginger beard Vietnamese guys? Wouldn't that be a sight? I do like pho. Don't get me wrong. Vietnamese is actually one of my favorite cuisines, so we'd have a lot in common. You live in Puerto Rico? Nice. My grandmother's from San Juan. She was from San Juan. I have her elementary school degree where she passed elementary school from San Juan, Puerto Rico, back in 1931, 32. Are we thinking absorption for lower? Right now, they're failing every bounce, so the only remaining thesis is absorption here. Until we put in that yellow block on my chart, until we take that baby out, there's no long to be had here. You may be able to scalp a long here, but a true high confident long cannot come until we take out that yellow block. I know I have a lot of blocks in my chart. In fact, I need to delete all these because we've absorbed them. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. You've got a couple of different things to look at here. We've got your morning. What was that? What did I just delete? That's that. We have our morning low and high, which are these levels. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. That needs down there. We've got these little higher highs you need to take out. We need to take out these blocks in order to go long. And if you go long on this one, be aware of this one. You've got the morning high to deal with. So in the event that we do trend up, you're going to have an initial rejection off of the morning high, or I'm sorry, the morning low. So be aware of these levels. Ready out. I was there this spring. I was in Rincon, though. It was a very cool town. Definitely plan on going back. Nice. I lost 25% of my account last week on a Friday being stubborn and not taking the loss as I should have. I had to reset my thought process and so only took 2 trades this week, one very small loss and a great winner. I made back 13% of the previous loss. Thank you for your guidance and confidence building 3 Qs. That's amazing, Matt. Well done, buddy. Well done pulling it back, taking a break, and only putting on 2 trades instead of going on tilt. That's a huge win, and not only financial, but an emotional toll. Well done. Calls dumping. So another big move. VIX is still skyrocketing. We haven't talked about VIX all that much today. Look at the VIX. What was my thesis on the VIX? Anyone remember? Here, I'll show you. This is my thesis on the VIX. You remember this? The 3-cycle VIX. 1, 2, 3. That was back in April. First one was December, January. The second one was March. The third one was April. And now we have 1, 2, and what I think, the start of number 3. And so far, we have a big green candle. And so far today, she's on her horse. VIX is up 20%. It just ticked over to 20%. 20. NASDAQ is getting wrecked with a capital R. Right here. Reminds me of the King of the Hill. His dad was half Japanese. Had Japanese half brother. Oh, okay. I wish I had a Japanese half brother. I'd go visit him. I want to eat some Japanese food, baby. Still top wicking. Big red, baby. Look at that. Look at that all the way down. Wow. Coming off. Crazy stuff, dude. Let's see what they could do with this bottom wick. Holding. I passed a couple of evals today. The way you use volume changed how I was seeing it before. Now I realize I was looking at it wrong the whole time. Appreciate you. Thanks, baby Mario. Appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words and being here, man. I firmly believe 3C was the best thing to happen to this community. I'm glad it's working for y'all. What, it's been about 6 months now since we've started the 3 Cs. I would say it's collectively a pretty good success. Coming up, a little bit of bottom wick NASDAQ. Amazing. Amazing. What's gold doing? If y'all want some good concentration music, I recommend this. This is pretty good. No words. Has it been that long already? Man, time goes by fast, dude. I can't even believe it's going. In March, it'll be 5 years since we started this server. 5 years. Can you imagine that? I still remember the wife looking at me saying, if you open up that Reddit one more time, I'm going to punch you in the face. And here we are 5 years later. 5 years later. Did you punch me? No. No. Gold's going crazy. It is. How much stock do you put into the daily moving averages as a bounce spot? None. Zero. What the crap? What happened to my chart? There you go. There we go. All right. Gold chart is very, very spicy. Very, very spicy. We do have volume here, though, but obviously every volume has been failed on gold. If we can claim a higher high, there might be some R&R there on gold, too. We might be able to start claiming some decent moves here. We'll see. NASDAQ is putting on some nice bounces. I found you back then and just came back for a few months ago. Nice. Very cool. I remember when you created your Reddit community 5 years ago. 100%, man. Well, thank you for sticking around and, hanging out with us. Good stuff. I'm seeing a small bullish divergence here at the lows. Possible. Possible. We need to get some higher highs. Remember, there's plenty of upside potential if we go. A whole bunch of upside potential. The R&R is fantastic if we can be patient. Gold's starting to put on a move here. Gold's starting to put on a move. We just got to get going. Got to get going. I got a couple of nice scalps on gold bounces waiting for the real 3C for anything big, though. Nice. Here comes gold. It's going. I remember when OM was only on YouTube, I'd occasionally donate $5 in the super chat if I copied a winning trade. Thank you. I had a guy tip me a lot of money. I think he was like $1,000, something like that, on super chat because he claimed I made him $1 million. He said he put on $1 million trade and made it. So he tipped me a lot of money on super chats. So I don't know if that was true or not, but. What's super chat? It's the YouTube chat. You could donate money. So it's just you can click on it and donate money, but yeah. Warning, Will Robinson. Gold. Warning. Watch gold. Don't say I didn't warn you. Can you send pics with the money? Dude, I'll send you pics for free, baby. kind of unofficially started using something very to the 3Cs about 2 years ago. I would make trades by looking at the volume only. I just look for the big red volume green. Success rate is off the charts. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I firmly believe that this is the #1 way for the beginner trader to drastically improve their trading. If you could look at the 3Cs in terms of a chess ELO rating, if you're a 100 ELO rating on chess, I think the 3Cs would instantly bring you up to an 800 overnight just by learning the 3Cs, because it'll give you the stuff that is tangible in the markets that not everyone is looking for. Everyone's looking for the quick, easy fix. What EMA can I add to my chart to tell me when to trade? Instead, just look for the volume inflows. And most of the time, not every time, of course, they're going to treat you very well. Still new? Nice kills. Sorry, Frank, could you please explain the 3Cs? 100%. 3Cs are my system, is my system. Here's a video on it. It's about a 15-minute video, plus or minus. And it outlines my entire thought process. 3C stands for 3 criteria. First criteria is volume. Second criteria is wick. Third criteria is price action. My thought process as a trader is to use the market itself, not an indicator, not a calculation. Use the market itself to tell me when the buyers are hitting, when the sellers are hitting. I am very humble in the aspect, in the viewpoint that I know there's nothing I can come up in the markets that the hedge funds and the dealers and the market makers don't already know. They're the ones controlling the market. I'm just trying to grab my little bitty piece of the pie. So why would I want to fight with what the big players are doing? Why would I want to fight what the big liquidity is doing? I don't. It's a fool's errand. So on a significant downtrend, I'm going to remain a short bias until I see an incredible amount of volume. Now, in the big scheme of things, this 3C short op right here, or this long, is still holding support plus or minus. If you look at the given range here, it's still doing a decent job. I mean, it's not perfect, of holding the lows area here, this low range. But this is the process of shake and bake. So my thought process is, if the market is downtrending, I want to remain short bias until I see 3 things: extremely high volume spike to indicate demand, extremely aggressive bottom wick to indicate that the buyers are executing that demand, and the third thing is going to be the price action reclaiming higher highs, which means I'm going to catch the right side of the V. Those 3 things combined will give me at least a 75% chance probability of putting on at least a temporary positive long position, or getting out of a short position at a pretty advantageous area. One of the two. Obviously, the 3Cs are amazing. My favorite part of the community is the thesis behind a patience and small position sizing. Love the community. Thanks, Pablo. Appreciate you, buddy. I think being around a bunch of like-minded individuals is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You're welcome, Kells. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. I think you're right. Bandit divergence could take all afternoon. That's why I'm saying the longer they keep this baby down, the happier I am into power hour. If you want a bounce that's pretty well defined, you want this thing to continue down right now because they're going to give you a beautiful opportunity in power hour. I'm hard pressed to think they're going to wait until power hour to do it, but I hope they do. Now, obviously, it's not guaranteed. There are instances where this will sell off all day long. I'm just saying probability. They're going to put on a bounce into power hour. Now, if they bounce it before, then that'll now give some additional selling pressure into power hour, a probability. If they go ahead and bounce it now and bounce it back up, then it's a bit of an unknown into power hour. So, 3.1 billion calls sold, 2.4 billion puts purchased. You see they are dumping calls hand over fist. In my opinion, just a few trades per week is all you need. Absolutely. That's all you need. Are we going to see more of these shenanigans to get that next rate cut? Well, the rate cut, the market movement's not going to direct the rate cuts, at least not on paper. But if you know anything about the markets, go back and look at the rate cut cycle of 2007, 2008 during the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis. Go look at the charts. Look at where the Fed chair at that time was not Jay Powell, started cutting rates. Right before we hit all-time highs, they started aggressively cutting rates. We had one more jump higher, and then it started to sell. They stopped cutting rates. The market still sold. They began another rate cut policy at the bottom, and then right before the bounce or right during the bounce, they put on an emergency 100 basis points cut. They did it also in 1998. Twice they did an emergency 100 basis points cut. What would you think would happen if the markets came out, if Jay Powell came out suddenly right now? All of a sudden we got a tweet saying Jay Powell's coming online. Good afternoon. It is the opinion of the Fed chair that market conditions dictate that we should cut 100 basis points unexpectedly. NASDAQ will go up 4,000 points. And that's the intent. And that's what's going to happen again. I guarantee you that's going to happen again. Guarantee you. It's just a matter of time of when. So the market's is not going to dictate the rate cut policy. The banks will dictate rate cut policy, which in turn the banks will affect the stock market. So it's all connected. It's just indirectly. Anyway, I'm getting on my high horse here. VIX still ain't dropping. Call still ain't buying. Put still ain't selling. There's no indication of bouncing yet, so you can't long a position yet, other than a scalp. If you want to scalp these little bottom wicks, sure, I scalp one of them. Small position sizing, treat it as a scalp. The reversal trade is not here yet. Delineate the difference between the scalp longs and the reversal longs. Man, is it already 11 o'clock? 51% jump in implied correlation. Interesting. XLP is the only remaining X sector that's green, and it's actually quite green. Let's go take a look at the techs. NVIDIA is getting wrecked. AVGO is down 11.2%. Apple's down. Microsoft is down. Amazon is down. AVGO is down. Google's down. Meta's down. Did NVIDIA take out? Nope. NVIDIA hasn't taken out support yet. I thought they got below that level. That would have been catastrophic for shareholders. Amazon is down. Down we go. Oh, man. What y'all think? Might have to call it a day. I'm hungry. I need some lunch. My butt hurts. I think I should come back for Power Hour. I'll definitely come back to the computer. I can't guarantee I'll stream, but I'll come back to the computer. Is 175 critical for NVIDIA? This whole block is critical for NVIDIA. 174.25 to 169.6. It's about a 5-point block. If you were to place one single micro NASDAQ contract and hold it till Power Hour into the bell, I put a decent probability that it'll close green. Not guaranteed, but a decent probability it'll close green. Gonna call it a day too. Nice. Appreciate you, BH. Thank you. XSPQ. Have a great weekend. I think I'll give a write up today as well. I'm not gonna give a write up at the moment because a lot can change before Power Hour. They could bounce them, and heck, they could undo every bit of this. I don't think they will because it's not OPEX, it's not end of month, it's not end of quarter, so I don't think they do anything that drastic. I think there will be a small recovery, but I don't think they'll undo every bit of it. I think it'll be more of a reactionary close put type of thing. If you have spot gamma, your first indication would be aggressive closing of puts. That's your first one. The secondary will be the aggressive purchase of calls. And then, of course, the main mechanism, which is a 3C high volume bounce. And that's what we'll go for. So we will see. We will see. At the moment, we're at 170, 160. We're back and forth. And we're going to go from there. So if they could take out this prior high, obviously you could start to play the 3C long and go from there. So yeah, 170, baby, 170. There goes a small bottom wick. I just tickled with getting off the stream and they already broke it out. Look at that. Amazing stuff, dude. If they could wipe this support, you'll probably, I'm sorry, the resistance, you'll probably have a decent LFG candle like that right there. Like that right there. Interesting. go. Breakout into 207. Can we get a follow-on green into the next level? There we go. $25, 212, 213. All right. Beautiful. Can you leave a spot running? Spot running for, oh, can you leave spot camera running? Yeah, I can do that for you. Sure. Sure. There's your bounce. All right, so far, what I said, if you put on a single micro NASDAQ at that level, the good probability it'll close the day green. So far, we're off to a good start. So far, that's 50 points green so far. I don't know if it'll close it. So, if you're in that position, set a break-even stop right now. 1 point in profit, and don't touch it. Close the brokerage. And just see what you can wake up to or close the market to. So, all right, y'all. Hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm going to leave the stream running. I'll put on some spot gamma. If you're on YouTube, come join the server. Come hang out with us. You'll get the free stream the rest of the day. I'll post any comments I see based on market structure shifts. Other than that, baby, I had a beautiful week, a beautiful day with beautiful people. I'll see you Monday. I'm out. See you.